Another Friday is here. Welcome to the Friday Rewind. I am Brandon Davidow. Joining me today are two of my favorite brokers in the area, Sal Carola from Remax Elite in the Brooklyn and Staten Island area, and Eric Stein. He's on the Friday Rewind for the first time ever. Eric, thanks for joining us. He's the broker owner in the Tuckahoe area of Remax Distinguished. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us today. We're going to talk about what the heck is going on in the market, because things are starting to open up around the country. New York, will it? Will it soon? Sal, kick it off with you.
Well, speaking for myself, the 5 boroughs, we are anticipating to the end of June. So we're not even close. Phase 1 should be starting soon. We're not in phase 1 at all. After phase 1, they're probably anticipating 2 weeks. Phase 2 starts. We're hearing that we're going to be phase 2. What does phase 2 look like when we open up? God only knows. We don't know what kind of restrictions are going to be put into place. We're not going to know how to interact with our clients. If there's going to be any, precaution measurements that we need to do, it's probably going to be a little different, so to say the least. But what we are seeing is that the market is ready to open up. We are. The realtors and our clients are there, just waiting.
Eric, are you seeing about the same timeline for you guys, or is it different because you're not in the 5 boroughs?
So with us being, we do mostly right outside of, the city, but we also include the Bronx. We do a good amount of business in the Bronx and Westchester. So Westchester is actually started phase 1, and we're hoping to hit phase 2 in Westchester actually next Tuesday, the 9th. So we are, our Bronx properties and stuff that we're doing in the Bronx, we're going to be under the same time frame as Sal. And I agree with him 150%. Everybody's ready. I know me, as soon as they give us the green light, you're going to see an Eric-sized hole out of my front door, ready to go rock and roll. And, it's something where, we have started to list properties. Homeowners have, done, let people in, with showings. Homeowners friends have let people in, and we have some of a vertical market, but not ridiculously. So I think it's a little bit easier for us on that front. If it's a single family home, and the homeowner could, be outside or open up the door and leave, versus, having in a vertical market where you got to go through buildings and the whole 9 yards.
Eric, I'm going to follow up with you then, since you have a little insight and you guys have started up just a little bit. What have you seen? What are some of the differences that agents should be on the lookout for when things do start to open up, especially in the 5 boroughs?
So I think that, you're definitely looking at the demand is going to be there. I think that each market, is always different, but I think now it's definitely going to be different. And I'll let Sal talk to his thoughts on what's going on with the market wise. But, there definitely is people looking out, and going out there and showing properties. We've had a pretty high demand in certain price points in certain, markets of people coming out of the city, coming up to Westchester there. But you are seeing, 2 people allowed, in a house at once. We put some protocol in place that we were trying to kind of live by, as we get ready to open up, with 2 people in the house. We're still waiting for official word from, the state and from, NYS and a couple different agencies on what we can do. But, you have your mask, gloves, and booties. You're not, even once we're allowed to go in, I think agents are not going to accompany the buyers into the property. They'll open up the doors for them and kind of let them do their thing once we're allowed to get out there. So, I think just kind of being prepared. We're seeing more of the virtual showings, virtual buyer consultations with Zoom, listing presentations done, via Zoom. And if you didn't get comfortable with it in the last 2.5 months, you know what? You're probably going to miss the boat.
Sal, for the last 3 months, we've been talking about COVID-19 this and pandemic that. But the big news now are the riots and going on in the streets of Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Right.
Is that going to impact the real estate market opening up? And is that going to set the timeline even further back?
I don't know. I was thinking about that last night. I mean, what else can New York City really endure? I mean, more. I think maybe in our commercial division, absolutely, because I think the riots and the demonstrations are more focused to the commercial side of New York City. But the residential, listen, this really affects people's psyche. I mean, there are people just glued to the radio and the TV and their phones, and You're just listening and trying to get some information, and it, just like when COVID came out, everybody was always talking about it, and very, very stressed out, very, very stressed out. Now it seems like it's stressed out again. It looks like we saw the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. It was getting nice. It was getting, we were getting excited, and then all of a sudden this happened, and it just put a damper on everything. I'm still believing that the market will explode. And Eric knows, I mean, the buyers are there. The buyers are there. They want to see the properties. And I was very skeptical about the virtual tours. I just thought they just wouldn't work. And for the most part, it didn't really work that much, but it worked a lot better than I thought it would have. It really did. I mean, there were actually deals put together virtually, from virtual showings. So I was wrong about that. And you're right, Eric. If you don't jump on a bandwagon now, it's going to pass. You're going to have to do that. But that just shows that the motivation is there for the buyers. Now we're getting, I'm getting calls from sellers saying, "Is it ever, will the market ever be ready? Will I ever be, able to sell it for the way, for the price I could have sold it a couple months ago?" And they're just under the influence that, the thought that it's just, the market tanked. It didn't. It is going to rise. We're going to probably, Eric, do you agree that we'll probably be in a shortage of inventory the first few months?
100%. We're seeing that already. We definitely have a shortage of inventory. There are buyers. I'll tell people, let's say before COVID, there was 5 buyers. Maybe now there's 2 per property, instead of 5. And it's still a good, scenario. We are seeing so far, definitely still a seller's market in most avenues and price points.
And I think for at least a few months, we're going to see that until it levels off, until the word gets out that prices are going through the roof and sellers are going to be out there selling. And then it'll level off. But we definitely probably be in a shortage of inventory in the beginning.
Seems like a perfect storm. Everybody's stuck inside, ready to go do something, ready to buy, sell their home. It's summertime. They want to do it before school starts in session in a couple of months. Let's just hope everything calms down in the world and we can start buying and selling houses again. Sal and Eric, good to see you both. Thanks for joining us on the Friday Rewind.
You're welcome. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.